All right, everyone. So here it is, the Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards run with CosmicHeart, 100% on the N64. Cosmic, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Well, this being honestly I think it's the only Kirby run. We're supposed to have Kirby Dreamland, but Mooney couldn't make it, unfortunately, with all the weather problems we had and the planes being canceled and all that. So big shout outs to Mooney who can make it. So yeah, if you could do a little couch roll and run us through what kind of run you're about to do, and we'll be ready to go on your mark.
All right. Well, I am running Kirby 64 100%, and what that means is I have to collect all the shards in the game, all 72 crystal shards. And at the very end of the game, I'm going to be fighting this boss called O2. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what's going to go on.
Do you have time for a donation right before you go?
Yes, you do.
So we have Tweak 1987, one of our homies from Montreal, who donated $48.34 and says, to even up to $200, shout out to NoReset crew for getting in Dallas and put up an awesome event. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you guys in Dreamhack. Cheers. Cheers responsibly, he says. So, well, thanks, Tweak. So, can't wait to see you. You're the best, man. So, we're ready to go.
All right. Can I get a countdown? Yes. Lift it? Okay.
There we go. Yep. So, all right. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. Okay, so again, right off the bat, you're going to be seeing a lot of fire. There's going to be some single fire, some double fire.
Yeah, fire is the main movement tech in Kirby 64. You'll see her mostly use single fire. It has the fastest horizontal speed. And you can kind of keep it going by what is called puff canceling, where you have a really quick window to kind of flutter as Kirby and then puff out air, and then you can just do fire again and keep it going. And it's a good way to maintain your height as well.
Yeah, it might look easy, but it's actually, like, the buffering itself is pretty tough because the first two single fire flames are longer. There's like a longer, horizontal line that they follow, and then they kind of shorten. So the way to puff is like you're pressing B in order to cancel your single fire, and then you're puffing out a breath of air with A, and then you're swapping back over to B to keep your fire going. So it's just a little thing to get used to.
And because this is 100%, we need most of the abilities in the game to be able to pick up different shards. So to break that little rock, we needed bomb. So she combined her single fire with bomb to get fireworks, which is a fast way to defeat Waddle Doo.
And that's the end of the first level.
Yep.
So every level has 3 crystal shards with the exception of boss levels, which only have 1. You get them from defeating the boss. Pretty easy to figure it out. Kirby 64 is kind of known for being one of the more unique Kirby games because it's, I think it's the only game still where you can combine abilities. So it's pretty interesting when you get if you're playing a casual, you get all the different casual combinations, and then when you actually start to learn all the abilities that you need to collect every single shard, you go through a pretty big library of them. So
shout outs to the refrigerator.
Yeah, shout outs to Fridge %. Yeah. So this level's pretty easy though. She's just going to be using single fire to go through the majority of this level. None that are specifically required with a move. But we will be using a specific move in the next level, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, most of World 1 is just pretty comfy.
So Cosmic's going to get really close to the death plane down here to pick up a crystal shard. There's nothing really too bad about the death plane in general. It's just that when you die in Kirby, you lose any ability that you currently had.
Yep.
So in some instances, if we die or we run out of health, we would have to go back to a certain section to pick up parts of an ability or the entire ability in general.
So you see there, she got behind the mini-boss, and that set her up perfectly for the shortened single fire to be able to send her to the center of the arena and pick up the shard as soon as it spawned.
So mini-boss at the end of 1-2 here is Paulina.
Oh, it's Adeline.
Adeline.
Oh, Adeline.
She's,
why am I saying
she's an
Paulina
artist.
from... Paulina's the one from Donkey Kong.
Yep, this is Adeline.
Yeah,
She's
Adeline.
She's painted me a lot of pictures.
Yeah, this is like pretty much an auto-scroller. There's like some skill involved in terms of the 2 mini-bosses she sends out after the mini drawings, but still not that difficult.
Yeah, you mostly just throw fire at her and pretty easy.
Yeah, like Ema said, World 1 is pretty comfy. It's like when we get further into the run where we actually are going to have to watch our ability usage and certain enemies, and there's a lot of areas to fall and stuff like that.
And now I have to fight her.
But she's one hit.
Yep.
So difficult.
Yep.
So another thing she's doing to save a little bit of time is when she picks up the shard from the mini-boss, you see Ribbon come out of Kirby and then go back into him. It's easier to stay where the shard spawns, so she has a shorter time to travel to get back into Kirby, and it saves a little bit of time.
And once again, there's going to be some single fire. This time, it's going to be towards the ground. Now, it's not really mashing. There's kind of a rhythm to it, and I'm trying not to get hit by the many enemies that Kirby has along the way. I believe this is DDD's castle. I think that's what's going on in the lore.
Yeah, so you might have noticed that Cosmic is sliding through every single loading zone, doing Kirby's little like down kick slide. For whatever reason, that makes the loading zone go faster. Like it just makes the next area load quicker.
Well, you just move into it faster. So Kirby, he picks up horizontal speed at the start of his slide, but then he stalls at the end of it.
There you go.
And so canceling the end of the slide with either a loading zone or by doing it off a ledge is faster than just walking into it.
So here I have double cutter, and all I need it for is this shard.
Big boomerang. Normally you're supposed to like just go up these stairs one by one, but you can actually just puff all the way up here and skip a majority of the platforming.
And I gotta say, it's pretty annoying having to puff up there, but...
Yeah. Puffing is not exactly the easiest form of movement either.
No.
The mashing is really weird in Kirby.
So here we get our first look at the most hype ability in the game, Double Fire.
Double
Double
Fire?
Fire.
Oh my
Double
gosh.
Fire.
Let's get a round of applause for Double Fire. So in World 1, we've fought like all of the enemies, if you will, as mini bosses. We've saved them from the darkness inside, if you will.
Yes.
And now for the rest of the game, they're going to be like our allies. So like Waddle Dee, Adeline, and DDD will help us through the rest of the game.
I'm gonna get this Maxim tomato.
Probably a good idea before
Or Wispy Woods.
before Wispy.
Yeah.
We have a $17.22 donation from Moo Mooney. Loved you peoples of No Reset crew. Thanks, Moo Mooney.
So Wispy Woods is a pretty straightforward boss. He's the main reason we picked up Double Fire. So you need to first destroy the little Wispies that run around the arena, and that makes him really mad. And then he'll either send out apples or he'll puff air out. And after he sends out apples, he sends these roots. And so by doing this little setup,
Nice.
you can get an easy 2-cycle on him with Double Fire.
More apples. Silly Wispy.
Nice boss.
Yay!
Nice. That's a really good fight.
Woohoo!
Yeah, good job.
Thank you. Okay, some more Double Fire.
Yeah, we have it. May as well use it.
Yeah, Double Fire is also really fast in terms of movement, it and Single Fire. It's just Double Fire is a little harder to manage because the distance is much longer than Single Fire, and it's harder to control. There's no way to cancel Double Fire while it's going unless you're hitting something that stops Kirby's movement or it ends.
You also have the really long landing animation of him tumbling out of it.
Yeah.
But this area is so long that we just keep double fire through it.
So Cosmic actually needs another unique ability for this level. She's going to be trying to combine rock and electric for, I call the ability My Pet Rock because it's a big boulder on an electric leash, basically.
I've heard it called a magnetic yo-yo. I kind of like both of those.
So that boss is pretty easy. She just spams the rock ability and it just melts.
So this is the first like really auto-scroller room where we can't really speed anything up.
Nope.
We just kind of have to wait for the sand.
Yeah. May as well just style around.
Yep. This is single stone.
Then we finally get up to the top, and when the sand is at its highest point, Waddle Dee opens up this little crevice.
So this will be the first real instance of kind of backtracking in a level. You saw that brown and yellow sort of, it looks like a nose almost on the statue. She has to come forward here to get the electric and combine it with the stone that she has. Hopefully Sparky is nice. He almost wasn't.
I'm gonna wait for him. There we go. That's a big deal to me. If I don't get this ability, I'd have to start this level over.
Yeah, we'd have to do the whole level over again.
Sparky gets really annoying because he's got like he's got his jump and he's got his, you know, spark ability, and the spark ability will crush any ability coming at him. So like if she were to shoot the rock at him and he was sparking, the rock would blow up, so she would lose the rock part of the ability.
Mean old Sparky.
Yeah, so we have a couple, you know, arguments with Sparky throughout this run, unfortunately.
Yep.
Another small movement thing that we didn't really touch on is, it seems kind of counterintuitive, but it's faster to jump down slopes as well as jump up. Kirby's movement just kind of slows really down a lot when even when he's going down slopes.
Taking extra precaution here to not, yeah. Definitely don't want to get hit by the columns. The columns are insta-death, so that would just be a waste of time. So we're, yeah, going to play it super safe there.
And what do you know? I got fire back.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this level's another just kind of generic level. You can just spam fire all through this level. The 3 shards are located in areas where you don't need abilities, so some tricky spots, but nothing too terrible.
Yeah, the movement in this room especially can be kind of tricky.
And she can drop underneath here to pick up the other one.
Don't want to fall into the abyss.
Yeah, no death plane
But
here.
We got it.
This, in my opinion, is like one of the worst rooms in the game.
Yeah.
There's so many. These guys who throw the green like projectiles can jump almost as high as Kirby can fly, unless you're like basically on the ceiling. So they can really disrupt your single fire puffs.
That was really good though.
Yeah,
Nice and clean.
Thank you. Right here, it's a lot of single fire tech.
I think that's the nice thing about 100% versus any percent is in any percent, it's a lot of double fire movement. And so if you don't exactly know when you're supposed to press double fire, you can end up running into a bunch of enemies at the end of your animation and losing health, losing time, dying. Whereas in 100%, there's so many ways that you change out your abilities. So you almost have double fire or single fire a lot of the time, which is easier to control.
So here's our first DDD section of the run. There's a shard up in this corner that she has to go out of her way to get. It is faster to jump up ropes, just like it is with Kirby. It's the same with DDD.
Yeah, DDD and Kirby both have 2 speeds too. So all she's doing is double tapping the movement direction in order to make them change from a simple walk to like a little bit of a jog.
Yeah, so playing it safe, grabbing the maximum tomato, 2-3 can be kind of tricky.
So right here, I have to come back and make drill for the next section. Oh,
Oops.
not quite.
Didn't want 2 cacti.
let me
Try again.
re-enter.
Yeah. Right at the beginning of 2-3 is this big dinosaur fossil. We have to have the drill to go inside the ribs. Yeah.
There it is.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
So here's the drill. It's very useful for pretty much getting rid of these enemies over here. And also I need it for a shard coming up. So it's a very useful ability. But I don't need it anymore.
And back to fire.
Yep.
There's some really conveniently located fire enemies in this game.
Yeah, it's really nice with the
It's
speedrun.
awesome.
And then obviously the levels that don't have them in the most convenient spot are the ones that are not fun.
This level sucked as a kid because you have the 2 holes you go down. One takes you to this mini boss, and the other just drops you straight down to the next area. But if you take the hole that drops you straight to this area, you're in the foreground and you can't get the shard, and you just have to go back and try again.
Yep.
And I could never remember for the life of me which one it was.
Nope.
It was wrong every time.
This level's going to have our first Kirby swimming segments. And Kirby just swims the fastest when you're mashing the hell out of the A button, so Cosmic will be working on that. Again, I'm just watching this run, and I'm just realizing how dumb I am for running any percent because I have to double fire over all this garbage.
I recommend 100%.
Yeah, 100% is the much more popular category because any percent is just kind of flying over every level with double fire for the most part.
But it's double fire, dude.
It is double fire.
It's double fire.
So something you may have noticed that also is extremely counterintuitive is it's actually faster to move in fire underwater.
Yes.
Makes no sense.
Oh,
but
that bothers me so much.
it's still faster to go horizontally to use fire.
Go, Kirby, go. Get up there.
Yeah, so luckily there's these little holes on the side so you can just stay on the left part of the room the entire time that the little spike logs are falling on you.
All right, good level.
Thank you.
So Cosmic, obviously, she wants to play it safe. She's been going for a lot of these tomatoes at the end, which it's really nice that you kind of can have the option of a full refill if you lost a lot of health during the level. Obviously, the top runners, they just keep going. They try not to die or take damage at all. But I think for a marathon, it's smart.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, so unfortunately in this level you need to combine bomb with electric to get the light bulb, and that little rocket is the only
Literally
bomb.
the worst power-up in the game.
It's the worst power-up in the game, but that bomb enemy is the only bomb in the level, so we can't fire through this area, unfortunately.
Yeah. This is an interesting segment where, so when Kirby is puffing upwards, if he ever takes damage, like basically all of the puffs don't count and he's able to like puff again. Because normally you would like run out. So normally this would be like a really big auto scroller level where you'd have to wait for the platform to rise. But because we have cannons that we can take damage on, we can just rise all the way through it.
You doing the God Cycle?
Nope.
God Cycle's scary.
It's so scary.
These columns, if they mash Kirby in between them and the wall, it's also instant death, which is really scary. So she's just playing it safe, getting the spark ability, and then we'll fall down to the shard.
Okay, so let's see what pattern we have here. Looks like tree, sun, moon. Tree, looking for moon. We got sun. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, that pattern is random, but it doesn't really matter. Another lovely room where we can just fly over the entire thing by pumping upward.
And here she's going to get double spark for picks.
Yep, throwing a double power-up at a boss does 2 damage as opposed to 1 for just throwing the single. So it's faster to actually throw the double ability at the mini-boss and then get 2 more electric during the fight.
All right, so we've got the World 2 mini-boss coming up. We have picks. Picks is like a big auto-scroller, and then once you get to the top, it's like a lot of RNG. So, you know, just the perfect speedrunning boss.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we can't actually damage him through the entire climb, so we just...
You wait for all 3 of his segments to form, and then you just get to the top, and then you hope you get a good cycle.
Now, I call Pix 3 diamonds. What do you think Pix is? That's the name of this boss.
I mean, I guess it is 3 diamonds.
I don't really know what it is, but...
Yeah, it's just like a weird...
It's just like the weirdest boss design. Like,
I don't even know what the
it's
lore
not even like a
behind Pix
character.
is.
It just like doesn't make any sense.
It's just kind of there. I feel like this boss is a big gatekeeper in casual play.
Yes, I would say so.
This is kind of where the game sort of picks up in difficulty is, sorry, pardon the pun, is right at this boss.
So we're hoping for an attack move where, yep, this is the one we're looking for.
Yeah, this is good. Did that not hit?
She shot a little early.
Did.
So Cosmic is taking special precautions to make sure that she is shooting.
Yeah,
That was actually a really good
nice.
pick.
I got
Yeah,
one
nice one cycle. That's really good.
Yeah, so the pick spawns different colored atoms, and you want to hit like the red part of picks with the red atom, the blue part of picks with the blue atom, because the correct colored ones deal more damage. So she was able to one cycle the final part there, which was really good.
I'm proud of myself for doing that.
Yeah, that is not easy.
Yeah, that was good RNG for marathon setting.
Thank you, Pix. Thank you so much.
All right, now we have 3-1.
All right, this is where it really starts getting...
Yeah, Aquastar is where the run starts getting really tricky.
We've got the single fire. But later in the run, we do have to get the exploding snowman power-up.
That might actually be the worst power-up
for
in
a
the game.
single shard. I don't know, dude. Spark is... the light bulb is pretty bad. The other one that's also pretty bad is Fire Spark, where he like rubs the rag on his head for static electricity.
He just runs around like a
He like
Wario
runs around with
his
his his head's on fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go. Alrighty.
So she picked up the penguin. The penguin has ice in it, and we need to combine it here with the bomb guy for the exploding snowman.
Yeah. So this is the... You're going to see it soon. I have the exploding snowman ability.
We don't want to use the exploding snowman power up through here because when the snowman blows up, it takes Kirby forever to regain control. So we literally just want to use it for the shard.
Can we also get some love for the soundtrack?
Yes.
This game is an incredible soundtrack.
The Kirby soundtrack is really good in this game, for sure.
Most of them usually are, but I gotta say, like, I'm getting some Kirby Superstar like remixes in there.
Yeah.
So funny note about Adeline there, whenever she paints for Kirby, if Kirby has less than full health, she'll paint him a Maximum Tomato. If he does have full health, she'll paint him an Extra Life. And we do the little trek over here.
So I can get rid of the snowman ability now. I don't need it. I have the shard that I needed.
All right, so coming up next, we have 3-2, which is, if I remember correctly, Cosmic's favorite level.
Oh yes, this is my favorite level. I'm
3-2 is a
excited.
fun level.
The start of this level is really nice because the water current is moving with our direction. So if Cosmic is actually on the ground, she moves a little bit faster running as Kirby. And we need Volcano in this level. So we're trying to combine rock with fire.
Fat Kirby is so cute.
Yes.
Big Chungus.
Thankfully, you run fast enough across this crumbling bridge. You don't need to float at all.
Aw, man.
Yeah, that dude's really hard to jump over.
All right, here's the volcano. I'll show you it. Give me just a second.
There we go.
Nice and easy.
Yeah, so you'll notice when Kirby goes through a loading zone and he has the ability in his mouth, he'll keep it in his mouth, but if he holds it above his head, it'll get rid of it. So it's just a nice way to toss it without having to do the throw animation, because the throw animation keeps Kirby from moving for a while. So Cosmic's watching carefully here because one of the shards is
This one.
that one. Got to be able to jump for it. Miss the jump window, then you got to redo the level.
Yep, that's correct. The reason I love this level so much is because I just love that Waddle Dee is such a good friend, taking me on a nice riverside ride. I love you, Waddle Dee.
The nice raft ride.
It's beautiful.
Bandana D for Smash.
Yeah. He'll take us on more rides later in this run, too.
Yes.
All right, and now we enter our first lolly section.
So, this is the dance music for this game.
Yeah, this is, like, by far the best music in the game. And you're invulnerable, so it's like the best of both worlds. Cosmic, before she became invulnerable, she actually swallowed a crab. She did that to become Fat Kirby, because Fat Kirby, when he falls from high ledges, he doesn't bonk once he hits the ground. So she actually saves time by doing that. Otherwise, you have to like puff before you hit the ground. Otherwise, you risk hitting the falling animation. And wow, would you look at that? We got fire.
Yep.
Some of the movement in this section can be kind of tricky because you've got the logs rolling down on you with these platforms, and the stream is moving against you, so you move really slow horizontally if you're not in the air.
Yeah. Again, just one of those sections in any percent that I just can't stand. All right, good level.
So coming up next, we've got 3-3, which is where all runs go to die.
Yep.
All right, so there are two unique shards that we have to get unique abilities for in this level. We have to combine Cutter with Bomb to get the Ninja Shuriken that explodes. And then we also have to get Cutter with Rock for our Animal Friend shard. The Ninja Star is a little scary because if we miss, if we miss the bomb power up, we got to start over?
Yeah, I think there's one bomb fish before you need it.
Yeah. And then the Animal Friends is hard for a different reason because we can only get the shard with one animal friend. That's Rick, the hamster, or the gerbil. And if we don't get Rick, then we have to wait until we do get Rick. And that can take, you know, anywhere from 2 to 25 tries.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I have it. This is the Ninja Star ability. Yes? Sure. I'll let you know.
So another small piece of movement tech with the kick slide is that if you can bonk off of walls to move backwards. And so you saw it use her earlier in the you saw her use it earlier in the run. She used it right there to get back to the boulder that takes you up faster.
You probably got time for a donation now before we do the Animal Friends.
All right, well, we actually have two. We have a $10 anonymous donation, and they say, always happy to see more marathons go down so that I have more opportunities to dunk on cancer. Rock on, runner. And Bud 6400 donated another $10 and says, Poyo.
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 And this just in, we just got a $20 donation by Kyle H, who says, KP good, cancer bad, keep kicking ass, Cosmic.
Oh, thank you.
Did you get it first try there?
Yeah, so you can see she got Rick the hamster first try on the mini boss. It's usually not a good sign.
Well, we're going to find out what try Rick we're going to get.
Audience can feel free to count along. 1, 2.
two.
Oh,
Rick.
nice. Third try Rick is pretty good for a
Yeah,
marathon.
that's not bad at all.
Go, Rick.
Yeah, so marathon. Rick can climb up these walls. It's the only way to get this.
It is the only way. I need you, Rick.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah,
think that the little bird that jumps really high can get up there,
See,
but it only
yeah.
gets like halfway.
That's what I always thought as a kid.
Yeah, right.
That I had to do. I had to like somehow get the little bird to fly up there because I never knew that Rick could climb walls as a kid. You know, like, where does it tell you that?
Me too.
Yeah.
I feel like it might have been in some of the older games.
Well,
but
that's what I feel like,
This was the first. This and Superstar were the first ones I played.
Yeah. This was my first Kirby game as well. All right. Grabbing the tomato for safety before we go into 3-4, where we're completely underwater.
So we use the ability for a nice safe fall down since the rock just destroys anything that you hit.
And now we take the fish, we go to the top, and no hands, Ma. Aw.
Well,
Aw.
But the rock came early.
that's fine.
Yeah, so it's actually faster to swim with a fish, holding a fish over your head. But sometimes the boulders just rain on you and ruin your fun.
Yes, you have to kind of be a little particular about where the fish is going to be held. So that's one of the many challenges you have to face with this game. But
The shards in this level can be kind of annoying. They're very, very easy to miss, and I don't think any of them you can come back for. It's like this one, you have the current working against you, and if you miss it in the ceiling, you can't swim against the current.
Yeah, there's no way to swim like back down.
you're
Because
absolutely
the rise, the current is rising and pushing you to the right. So you just have to start from up left and keep going. This is another one here. You have to hug the bottom of the pole and actually climb all the way down. If you go from too high up, you'll just miss it completely and the current will rise against you. And she actually took a bomb fish because she's going to fight the big bomb fish as a mini boss. And you can one cycle it with the bombs if you get a good placement. So she's going to rise really fast into this hole and try to keep the fish here. So normally the current is like pushing you in this big like circle. You'll just keep going around and around, but if you hug the top of the alcove there, you can keep yourself from having to, you know, swim against that cycle.
That was a really nice fight.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I agree.
So the last shard's going to be in one of these holes in the ground right here. It's another one where you've got the current working against you, so if you miss it, you can't go back and get it. You just got to retry the level.
It's really nice that she gets to keep bomb here as well, because we're going to use bomb for the World 3 boss, Acro. And it's just really, really quick to kill him with a single bomb. And fun fact for the audience, if you spell Acro backwards, it spells Orca.
Dude,
He's a killer whale.
I didn't know this until like a year ago. It blew my mind. I think SK said it randomly.
So
No
the first, he's got 2 cycles. The first one's really easy because he just swims backwards, shoots fish bones at you. You just kill him with the bombs. This second one does have some RNG. We're hoping that he goes for the missile launch where he like sits underneath you and tries to shoot missiles up. But there is a possibility where he like dives past you and goes into the background, and that's just time wasted because we can't do anything to him while he's doing that. Ooh, and he is going in the center for his little dash.
Thanks, Acro.
Well, we had a good, we had the one cycle pick, so
Yeah, that's true.
we had to get the
Can't
bad
always
RNG.
have nice things, yeah.
Pretty good though.
Yeah, thankfully bomb makes this fight pretty trivial because
Yeah.
it's very difficult otherwise.
All right.
The best part is that the game taunts you with the missiles because you can get bomb off of them, but there's nowhere for Kirby to land to swallow it, so you have to spit them out at him.
Yeah. All right, so I learned a lot about this level literally 10 minutes ago when Cosmic showed me where all the shard locations actually were.
Yep.
You don't need any power-ups for these shards, but they're just very well hidden from your point of view, the player's point of view.
Yeah, this is the first level where the shards really aren't either in plain sight or have like marked walls that you need to destroy with certain power-ups. So they can be very easy to miss if you don't know where they are.
There's one.
Like this one, the rest of these pitfalls collapse into spike traps, and then there's the one that collapses into a shard.
And there's one just right below here, which I didn't know until literally today.
Yep.
And now we get fire again.
Who needs to take vines?
Well, I will hear. I'm not that cool.
Yeah, there is, you can go underneath the vines in this section as well, but one of them is really, really low to the ground, well, close to the death plane, and if you fall too low below the vine, or if you don't, necessarily catch your fire buffer as fast, then you'll hit the death plane, lose fire, and then you have to do the whole section without fire, and that's slow, very slow.
So this section can be kind of tricky with the enemies falling on you. Just a lot of the enemy placements get kind of obnoxious in the later levels.
And there's a shard right up here if you can't see it.
Another lolly section. Although Cosmic has to be careful at the end of this section because she does want to take a rock enemy into 4-2, so she has to make sure that she doesn't run into him with the invulnerability. Nice. So Cosmic needs Dynamite for the next level, so she actually is going to backtrack back to World 2 to get the quickest bomb enemy that you can and combine it. Because you actually keep your ability when you select Try Again from the main menu, which is pretty nice. Again, there's just a shard hanging out there once you spawn into the level, and you just gotta hope you know that it's on the left side as a casual player, otherwise you miss it.
This minecart section can be really tricky.
Yeah, the minecart is actually the fastest form of movement is continuously jumping in the minecart. But if you don't, time your jumps correctly, you can either fall right down the hole or you can hit a rock.
Okay.
Or you miss that.
Yeah, or you
Yeah,
miss
you don't
that
wanna
if
miss
you
the
end up taking the
shot.
lower platform. The minecart is not as stress-free as the river raft.
So we don't want to throw dynamite at all because it makes a big explosion. In order to not take damage from it, you have to stop and duck. So Kirby will put his hard hat on. So most of this is just walking through the level. And some of the enemies here are really hard to dodge.
Yeah, this might be my least favorite level in terms of a speed run. There's just really not really a fast way to go through it, and there's a lot of really annoying enemies, especially the big Cyclop blocks. Like, they fall pretty much whenever they want to, and you can't like defeat them, or you know, they fall pretty fast, and
Yeah.
they'll hurt you on the way down and on the way up. So
Yeah, I feel like this 5-2 and 3-3 are the only really like bad levels as far as speedrunning goes. This one isn't so much bad as it is just hard.
Okay.
nice.
Nice. So dynamite explodes as soon as it hits an enemy, so she timed her throw off the jump so that it would hit, I forget what those things are called. It would hit the enemy in the water and blow up. Cistern's pretty funny with dynamite too.
I got my hard hat.
Oh, really?
Oh no. There we go.
That was nice.
Another crusher room here. If you get caught between the crushers and the walls, insta-death. This isn't so bad for 100% if you get caught, because you don't have an ability, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And any percent, you have single fire, and you really don't want to lose single fire because there's no way to re-get it in this level for the next level. So that room is, like, in my opinion, one of the worst rooms of any percent. Probably why I hate the level.
That was a really nice 4-2 though.
Yeah, that was
Like,
that was pretty nice.
That was really good.
So 4-3, we're going to get the drill here at the beginning to get another shard. And then the other two, well, one of them is just like hanging out at the bottom of the level, but the other one is based off of Adeline's painting. So we'll see what we get when we get there. So there isn't going to be a fire ability for us to get, but there is another movement ability that we can use, and it's the curling stone.
Yep, conveniently located here. It's the, I believe, third fastest movement ability in the game behind single and double fire. We also need it for a shard in 4-4, so it's quite convenient to have it here.
Yeah, so because we need it in 4-4, we got to stay alive all through this level and the next level until we get there.
Yeah, curling stone movement can be kind of tricky. Especially on levels with small platforms like this one.
Umbrella.
All right, we got the umbrella.
Nice. So Adeline can do 3 different paintings there. She can do a top hat, which is the fastest, a pizza, which is the middle pattern, and as Marathon Luck would have it, she gave us the umbrella, which is the slowest. And the way this room works is you have to destroy these blocks in a specific pattern to match the painting she drew. An umbrella requires us to destroy the most blocks. And if you're not careful, you can accidentally use the curling stone here and just run through the whole thing of blocks.
There we go. We got pizza in the practice room.
Yeah, you got time.
Oh, yes, go right ahead. You're welcome.
So we have another $20 donation by Nunubad who says, ha 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 ha. Thank you.
I can't remember where this third shard is. It's down in the, I know it's down in the crevice. Is it this one?
You fall right
Yeah.
here. So now we have just some cozy curling stone movement to the end of the level. This is a really random level to put the Kirby platforms in, I feel like.
All right. Done with that one.
So 4-4 is another really tricky level. And we have to hold on to the curling stone until about halfway through, so we don't have fire to make it any faster or safer.
Yeah, I guess we haven't said this yet. So when Kirby takes damage, he holds on to the ability, but if he takes damage again a second time within a pretty short duration, he'll spit the ability he currently is holding out, and it only survives on its own in the wild for like a certain amount of time. So if we were to lose the ability and the ability were to go away, that would be like a really big problem.
Or if it hits the lava, it just dies instantly.
That's correct.
Kirby doesn't, but the ability does.
King DDD.
So unlike in the first DDD section, the columns here actually take 2 hits to kill. It's going to be faster for us to wind up DDD's hammer and do his strong attack than it is to just hit it twice with the quick attacks.
Ooh. Okay.
Playing it safe.
Yep.
Yeah, those spike guys stop all movement regardless of what ability you're in, so it's always usually better to just wait for them.
That was really nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
So this is one of those shards, you see the little platform with the lava cracks in it? It's not colored what ability you need to break it, like everything else. But that is why we kept the curling stone all this time.
Double fire.
So
More
here we
double fire.
get some more double fire. That makes it nice and easy to outrun the big lava fall that's chasing us.
Yeah, going back to that curling stone thing that used to always tilt me as a kid because it was red and brown, just like the volcano one.
Right.
And so I was like, why is volcano not working? How do I get this shard? So she's going to drop double fire because we want single fire to combine with cutter for Magman. And there's a cutter ability all the way at the very top of this volcano that we're going to use.
I wonder how the sandy guys got in here.
Good question.
It's an extremely out of place enemy.
They fell in from the top. All right.
Yeah, so she played it really safe there with combining the powers. You don't want to hold fire over Kirby's head and have it get blown up on the fish head, because that doesn't give you the ability. It's the fish body that gives you the ability.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've got Magman.
Yeah, good old Magman is another very luck-based boss.
Okay, well.
That was always that's always the one that's like the worst.
Yeah, that's the worst one to get when it curls like that.
Yeah. So we've got a second part of Magman. This is also RNG based. We want him to like scream and get stuff to fall from the ceiling, but he could go underneath the ground and spawn firebirds. We don't want that. Yeah, this is what we want.
Okay.
Nice.
As long as
That
he's...
was
Yeah,
scary.
that was close.
I just
Good.
want Magman gone and get out of here, Magman.
Good, good, good.
Shiver Star, in my opinion, is the most difficult star in the game.
Yeah, I would agree.
There are a lot of really hard levels. 5-1 is probably the easiest, but it's not easy.
I'll tell you something. If you've made it this far, that's a good indicator that you'll like playing 100%.
Okay, we've got another Waddle Dee ride coming up on the sled. Or the toboggan, I guess.
I've just always said they're going sledding. I'm not sure exactly.
So this is another one where you have to pay attention here because one of the shards is pretty well hidden.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah. So it's like you go underneath the first igloo, but on top of the second one.
Yeah, at least he's nice enough to give you an indicator there that you should jump.
If I remember correctly, I think the sled is also the fastest when you're constantly jumping, but constantly jumping in the sled is really, really scary because there's a ton of gaps.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to do. So we break that ceiling there. After this mini boss, a shard's gonna spawn. And you need fire to be able to melt the snow at the top. Otherwise, you can't grab the shard.
Oh.
Oh, get in there.
Okay.
Yep, so the last shard is all the way at the end of the water here. It's a bit of a long swim, kind of annoying.
And again, you can use fire underwater here. It's just kind of silly.
What a nice guy. Gonna get nice and high up, play it very safe. This is a very hard screen.
Yes, agreed. It's way hard with double fire. I hate it.
Yeah, like it's hard to see because a lot of it's below us, but it starts ramping upward and you can kind of see just the gauntlet of enemies that you have to go through.
These rock enemies, the guys who like push the rocks down the hill, are probably the worst enemy in the game.
Yeah, they're awful.
There's no way to like not take damage from the rock if it touches you. You can like, you'll bump off the rock if you hit it first and then it'll roll over you.
But we're through there. Nice and clean.
Got the tomato, nice.
This level is my personal least favorite. If you remember back in 2-1, we had our little deal with Sparky where we had to throw the stone at him, and if we lost it, we had to play the whole level again. This is that times like 50. So in addition to Sparky, and he's at the end of the level, of course. So he can either jump over the thing you throw at him, he can put up his shield and destroy it, or he's right next to a pit and he can just jump off and kill himself. And it just seems that every time you get to him, he just decides he doesn't long for this world anymore. He just jumps in.
Sparky, please cooperate.
Yeah, there was a clip a while ago on Twitch of Shasta running the game, and Sparky jumped in the pit like 13 times in a row, just like would not stay. You know, he kept like walking off screen to get Sparky to respawn,
yeah.
and Sparky just would keep jumping in the pit over and over and over again.
But Sparky's the reason my any percent PB is worse than my 100% PB.
There you go. Again, just shout outs to the soundtrack.
Yeah, Shiver Star especially is a really good soundtrack.
So she's grabbing Needle. We're looking for, like we said, the Spark. We're trying to get the Lightning Rod power up. And unfortunately, like we said, Sparky can be not fun.
All right, please be nice.
Where are you
No!
going,
Yeah,
Sparky?
there he goes.
Yep, there he
Jumping
goes.
in the pit.
Okay, let's
So
try this
backtrack
again.
a little bit.
Come back.
Try it again. Here he is.
I'm gonna wait for him to jump.
Oh,
No. All right,
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the spike ability. I can walk back and grab it, and then I'll have to come back up here. least I think I can. Oh, okay. Let's see.
Yeah, thankfully that's not quite as bad as killing him. But it is a bit of a hike to get back to the spike power up.
All right.
Okay.
And there
Sprite-
we go. Oh, wow. Right from the jump.
There we go.
There we
Nice.
go.
Thank you. Ah! Anyway.
Wait a little bit to make sure that we don't, like Sechan was saying, we get hit twice too quickly, Kirby will lose the power up.
Yeah.
And with that many gaps close by, we just don't want to chance it bouncing anywhere.
I might just stand here and...
Oop. Oh.
All right,
Well, we got the shard.
I think I have the shard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you got the shard.
Okay, that's great. So now I have to defeat this ice enemy. Okay, I did.
There we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Woohoo!
We're good.
Okay, not too bad.
Oh, could have been much worse.
Yes,
but
it could have.
This is it's 5-2
Okay.
for you.
Yeah, like we said, Shiver Star, pretty unforgivable.
Shiver Star is brutal.
Yeah, pretty unforgivable.
So factory level is also pretty fun, but extremely challenging.
God, it's long.
It's also very long, yes. There's a lot of walking.
And oh look, my favorite enemy.
We found out its name is Putt, Secret Cameraman, so you can call that one Putt.
I'll just call him my least favorite enemy.
Yeah, so the nice thing about swallowing two enemies there is that the thing that Kirby spits out actually pierces through enemies. So you can just send it flying and destroy a whole line of enemies.
Yeah, a single ability fodder would just hit the nearest thing and explode, whereas yeah, a double one keeps going all the way through. I've always enjoyed when you swallow like an ability with a non-ability enemy and they shoot out the colored star depending on, you know, what ability you had.
Uh-huh.
So the saw blade shot out a green one for cutter. And correct me if I'm wrong, do you need bow and arrow for this one?
You don't need bow and arrow for this one. That'll be a little later.
That's in 6-3, I think. Yeah, so we gotta wait for Adeline to paint some fruit.
I have no idea what those were. But then again, I'm not running the game.
Yep, we don't need to know.
So she paints some fruit, and I just hit the corresponding color, and that's how I get the shard.
Oh, you have to match the color.
Yep,
to the
you have
fruit.
to match the color.
See, I just had no idea what the heck fruit that was.
Yeah, the first one was like a coconut or something, but it's really hard to tell that that's supposed to be brown.
The second one looked like a donut. Like the third one was a honeydew, I believe. That's what the green was for.
I think so. There
Yeah.
was a melon, I think there was an orange, and there was something.
Whatever's brown.
Yeah, brown fruits. Don't remember seeing that one on Family Feud.
Luckily, those guys don't damage you until they're fully formed.
These cannons back here, we call them the aimbots. They're pretty good at predicting where I'm going to be. So my job is to just try to be unpredictable.
Only 1 damage, that wasn't bad.
Oof.
Grab the tomato at full health for extra safety.
Okay. So, you might remember this level. This is the factory. It's an infamous level.
This is the worst part of the factory.
Yep. It's good music, though. Yeah, so we had to shoot the drill downward to break all these blocks, then we can float up and get the shard here. This DDD section is low-key really hard. So you have to break the walls to get through to the next section while these bots are there crushing you. And I believe you die if you get hit?
Yes. It's an insta-death if you get hit by the hammer.
I'm going to wait this one out. It's the last one, I think. Yep.
I've always thought this room was like so weird.
This room is
This room's hard.
disturbing.
Yeah, so this room we need to grab, I believe, electric and cutter.
Yep. Hold on, I'm going to respawn Cutter.
Yeah, so we'll want to respawn the circular back here, and then there will be one of those purple, I forget what they're called, the purple sparky dudes that come down from the ceiling. We'll need to combine with those.
Yeah, we need Saber.
Come back here.
Sandwich for health.
This is one of the coolest abilities.
Yeah, it was always one of my favorites.
Nice snipe.
Thank you.
All right, so she finished the mini boss, and now she has to go into the Crusher
More
room.
Crusher room.
This level or this room can also be very scary because the Crusher, even when the Crusher is going up, if you are in between the ground and the Crusher, it will kill you automatically.
Yeah, like if you jump too quickly like that, and then Kirby pulls himself up, and he just dies.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I don't know why you would ever design it that way, but. Nice.
Nice. And even after that, we're still not done.
Yeah. And Cosmic is going to try to combine with a cutter here at the end. Oh,
Or actually,
maybe.
I'm getting Spark. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I need Spark for the
Oh,
next
Spark
box.
for HR?
Yep.
Yeah, so coming up, if
It's
you
a new
thought,
strategy. I'm behind.
I'm also behind.
I'm behind the times. I'm so used to doing Fire Sword HR.
Yep. So if you thought Magman's RNG was bad, meet Human Resources.
This is HR the robot.
So rockets aren't good. We don't want rockets.
All he's going to do is shoot rockets at you and never open himself up to attack.
We want the attack where he combines his arms and he throws them down. That's the one where you get to hit him the most times. But he's got two abilities that...
Oh, come on.
He's got two abilities that literally do nothing. So he's got the rockets, which you can't do anything during. He's got the I-beam, which you can't do anything during. He's got the SWAT. We're able to hit him once with the SWAT, at least. But you can hit him 3 times when he does the combined arm attack. So...
There we go. All right, that wasn't terrible.
Not the worst.
No.
And then he transforms into HRH2. And this section is really easy.
And just stand under him with Spark.
You know, this
Easy
makes
peasy.
more sense that you would use this instead of Fire Sword.
I would not be able to go back to fighting HR with the Fire Sword.
Yeah, I don't think I want to either
You have
after
to try
watching this
it.
fight.
You have to try it. Oop.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, that was not a bad fight at all.
All right. One more full world.
Ripple Star is just fun. Like, I love this world.
So this level is almost an exact clone of 1-1.
Yep, it's a reskin of 1-1.
Yeah.
So we like to jokingly call it DLC.
Even the shards are in the same spot.
Yep.
She's getting Needle here for this mini boss because this mini boss is really annoying to fight with single fire. Kill it really fast with Needle.
Oh. Okay.
And now we become the mini spike.
Yep.
Yeah, they throw a curveball at you instead of just the bomb rock. Now it is a bomb cutter rock, or bomb spike rock, excuse me.
All right, good level.
I have to come back to this level just so I can get Spark. So I'm going to grab Spark and then I can proceed.
Six 2 has perhaps my favorite just little screen in the game, I guess. We'll see it towards the end here. I always thought it was kind of weird. You never see Kirby use his hammer in this game.
Really, all I'm doing is I'm swinging the lightsaber to get rid of those enemies. I'm going to be using the lightsaber a lot for the last couple levels.
Yeah, 6-3 is basically like a enemy rush, if you will. You just like basically clear every room of horde of enemies. It's really fun in any percent because you get firework.
This is my favorite screen in the whole game. Just running with the lollipop through all these blocks. It's so short, but so sweet.
Yep. All right, rise this into the loading zone, and we're on 6-3.
It's kind of funny, after how hard Neo and Shiverstar are, Ribblestar is actually pretty easy, except for the boss fight.
They just ran out of steam. They're like, we'll put all these hard enemies, and then we'll...
Yeah, so there's not a whole lot to 6-3. It's mainly just an enemy rush. Very popular level. I enjoyed this one a lot as a kid.
This level's very fun.
Running around beating stuff up.
Especially because, you know, obviously when you're playing it as a kid, everything that spawns is like a different ability. So you could have created like any ability you wanted to and carried it into the next room.
Yep.
There are a couple ways that you can use the lightsaber. I just like to swing it back and forth. But you can go in and out of using it.
The lightsaber's really nice because you can press B to attack with it, or you can just turn Kirby, and Kirby will like swing it the other way, and he can basically kill anything that's within that swing.
So this room right here, it's just a lot of memorization. But I need to exit with lightsaber, so.
Yeah,
It's so cool that you have enough to get bow and arrow and then go back into lightsaber.
It's amazing.
Thankfully, it's the last two enemies it gives us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this room can be kind of trolly without having the lightsaber.
I'm trying to despawn all of these enemies at the same time. But, is that all of them? Okay.
Also another incredible soundtrack.
I love this one. This one is my favorite one. Boy, get over here.
Brown Bird's not having it.
Okay, that's better. We can work with this. But the important thing is that I grab the shard.
So that is all the shards but one now.
All right, now we fight the most RNG boss of them all, Miracle Matter.
Yep. The way the Miracle Matter fight works is that he sort of takes the form of every single copy ability. And so you can only damage it with either the little dudes that it spawns here or using that ability that he's like cloning. So ideally, it gives us Electric and Cutter first, and we can just hit him with the sword. That almost never happens. And if you're running any percent, this is the final boss.
Bomb always sucks. Bomb you only need to hit twice, but the time that it takes to hit him, like he's got a really annoying hitbox.
Really short.
Ah, okay.
Spark also kind of sucks.
Yeah. There's only a few that are like guaranteed one cycles if you know what you're doing. This is one of them.
Yeah, needles are really easy one cycle.
Nice. Fire can also be easy depending on the spawn locations.
Yeah, that was unlucky at that first one bombed.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, bomb's gone. so I have a few left.
There we go.
That's
Sparks
2 cycle.
on.
Ice is another really easy one. And we got to do cutter and fire. All right.
Oh, that's a nice fight.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that was really good.
And that was the last shard. I didn't even know there was like that animation. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Okay, so now I have to make my way to fight O2.
Yeah, so if you have all the shards and you defeat Miracle Matter, it automatically drops you into World 7, which is it's just one level. It's a couple really short screens and then the O2 fight.
Yeah. Wait for Tomato for safety,
Yep.
which is smart. Go over here, and DDD hammers you up. All right. And we get the new ability. We get Ribbon plus Shard.
Yep.
And now we fight O2.
This is probably my favorite music in all of the N64. O2 has just such a great theme.
There we go. Time is coming up, by the way. Time will be when she lands the last hit on O2.
Yeah, so there isn't a whole lot to the O2 fight. You just have to hit his eye, and then he'll turn his head towards you. You hit his head and bust the halo, and then he turns up and exposes his weak point. It is possible to one-cycle this boss, but it's extremely difficult. You really only see the top runners go for it. As time.
Nice.
Nice job.
Thank
Yeah, good
you.
run. Now we've purged the world from darkness.
Yes, dark matter is gone.
Nice run, Cosmic.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. If you haven't played Kirby 64 in a while, whether you haven't played it casually or you want to run it, I would recommend you trying to play it again. It's very cute. You get to combine abilities, and it's a fun time.
Well, it was a great time, actually. Oh, Kirby.
Yes. And you get this ending too. That's an incentive for completing it 100%. You guys
So-
have to.
It's so cute.
You witnessed Kirby having a stroke. That's your reward. Nice.
Is that what he's doing?
Well, I mean, that's what it looked like.
He got red in the face and he kind of fell. So
So, you know. But, well, great run, Cosmic, once again. It's been said, but honestly, I'm a huge Kirby fan. So every time I see a Kirby run, like, your chances are pretty high of getting to the marathon. Not gonna lie. But
Get that down.
honestly, next up is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which is another game I absolutely love. Although personally, the first one's my favorite, but the second one's really, really good as well. Although 100%, I got lost there, sorry. 100% the crystal shards. That's a lot of stuff to collect. So
Yep.
in terms of routing and getting all this, like, a lot of people don't even use, I'd say, 3/4 of the abilities you've used in your run. And a lot of people don't even know all the combinations that are possible. I know that I've seen like a couple that I didn't even know were in the game, like Rick going up the wall to get that shard.
yeah.
That was a highlight for me, so thanks for teaching me
You
that.
are so welcome. I
Thank you.
I might get mad at Rick if it takes him 22 tries to get up there, but it's things like this that make me want to keep playing the game. I really do enjoy it.
Well, maybe someday we'll see the fabled Rick first try.
Yes, it happens.
It happens.
It happens.
Got to roll the dice. All right. Well, once again, thank you for an amazing run. Everyone at home, stay tuned. We have Sonic Adventure 2 Battle coming up with Chaotic. Dark Story New Game Plus